Can video surveillance prevent crime?
The answer is yes. Video surveillance can indeed prevent crime, but it depends on a lot of contextual factors. Exactly what type of setting are the cameras installed in, and very importantly, exactly how are the police using the cameras in their crime prevention operations. And if all of those decisions are made correctly, then the answer is yes, video surveillance cameras can work.
Are there any specific crimes that are easier to prevent with cameras?
Yeah, research suggests that property crimes and motor vehicle crimes are most susceptible to cameras, but there are examples in the literature of proactive policing operations coupled with video surveillance cameras having an effect on violence as well. Residential areas, the research evidence now suggests that CCTV can be effective in residential areas. And that's important to note because prior research suggests that video surveillance cameras were only effective in car parks. So now the fact that it looks to be effective in residential areas as well is an important development.
What would you say is the most interesting result of your own research?
To me, the most interesting result of this body of research is that the manner by which the police use cameras largely depends how effective cameras are going to be. If we put up cameras and think that just the sight of a camera is going to scare criminals, then we're going to be very disappointed. However, if CCTV is part of a larger proactive effort by the police to prevent crime, that's when it seems to work best.
How come almost all research is about preventing crimes when it comes to video surveillance and not looking at evidence?
To me, I think the emphasis on prevention is due to two factors. One, just frankly speaking, it's easier to do research on the prevention of crime because most police departments measure the occurrence of crime pretty systematically. Not every police department does a great job of measuring the investigation of crime, whether a crime was investigated, how many detectives looked at a crime, whether or not the crime was solved. And since most police departments don't do a great job of measuring those type of factors, it's harder for the research community to say something concrete about that use of technology.
In Sweden for many years, there has been a notion within the public debate that cameras do not prevent crimes. Do you have an idea why it has been like that?
Well, scientific evidence and public perception a lot of the times can be two different things, right? I mean, just because a technology may work, that doesn't mean that it's going to push back people's preconceived notions about a given technology. So to me, I think it's about communicating with the public, being honest with the public about what a certain technology does and doesn't do well. And I think if you want to influence public thinking with scientific evidence, that's the way to do it. So to me, I think two things are important to keep in mind when we talk about Sweden and video surveillance. One, I think it's important that the research field keeps looking at the deployment of surveillance cameras in Sweden for the purpose of generating more research and more scientific evidence. But I think equally important is to emphasize not just any kind of research, but to emphasize case-controlled, rigorous research because those are the strongest studies that tell us the most about a given technology.